Ghana has a long way to go. And maybe, folks, we're all not being very honest with ourselves. Football in the world globally has changed. Football on the African continent has changed. Maybe we should be honest and say that where Ghana is positioned now is where we deserve to be. I don't know if I'm making sense in terms of how the other teams prepared, how they fared in the matches, and the final positions. Maybe we need to be honest and say that, you know what, the Ukrainian pair, what we did, this is what we deserve. I don't know what you think about that. Anyway, look, I have a big surprise for you, and as we always do on Max TV, we bring you the exclusives, and today's another day. That's why at the start I was smiling. Normally I don't smile too much on air, but the people around me are all smiling, and my director is smiling as well. How do I do this introduction? So Sudan, you know, they were one of the teams that beat Ghana, remember, 2-0 in Libya, where they play their home matches, and goalless at the Accra Sports Stadium. And of course, the story, if you follow Al Jazeera, BBC, CNN, all over, it's about the Ghanaian trio, you know, the head coach, the assistant, and the goalkeeper's coach, all from Ghana, and in particular the head coach, who was once a Black Stars goalkeeper. The assistant, who was one of the technical men behind the scenes for the Black Stars in Qatar, they all played a crucial role in the qualification. The story is ongoing, but I'm happy to say that I have one of the actors, the architects, here in the studio. We've actually literally kidnapped him and brought him in. So let's hear from him. And Coach, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
You know, folks, let me tell you this. Initially, Coach Ignatius said, no, yeah, I don't want to talk about, you know, maybe Ghanaians are hurt, they're in pain. I said, no, actually, Ghanaians want to know the story, how, you know, people are still wondering how it all went, and you and Kwesi Appiah's, you know, involvement. So why don't you come in the studio and tell your story to Ghanaians? And that's exactly what he's done. So, Coach, once again, Akwaba.
Yeah,
it's good to see you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Frank.
Yes. Prince Annan is also here because, you know, he's also got some questions. Your paddy, commentator in chief.
Prince, I remember our first game against Kotovo.
Yeah.
Prince was
commentator.
Yes,
not a major fella.
Prince.
Yeah. and then after the match, do you see him normally after the match?
Sometimes I don't see him.
Do you know where he goes? Okay.
You will tell me.
End of the show.
End of the show.
Yes.
Where you go?
But Coach, welcome back.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah. Where do we begin? It's a long story. Why don't we go to the beginning?
Asante Foku. I don't know whether you know him. Asante Foku. Kwame Asante called me that he had a deal for me. I said, okay, Kwame, what's the problem? He said, oh, he has somebody going to some place and the person wanted me as assistant. I remember telling him that I want to work with Kim Faisal. I'll only break that promise if it is Kwesi Appiah. I remember very well. Because I knew he was a friend to Ogum. Ogum is a good friend of mine. So if he has a deal and he wants me, there is no problem. So I didn't want to drag it. So I told him, if it is Kwesi Appiah, I go. If it is not him, let me remain here and help. Because me, I had wanted to work with Kwesi very, very badly. After reading his book, Leaders Must Not Yell.
Yeah, leaders don't yell.
I thought that if I worked with him, I'll gain some composure, because I know how he has a lot of composure and what do you call it, self-discipline and emotional intelligence. So I felt that if I worked with him, so that was in October. I don't remember exact date. I think my personal assistant will remember the day, but I don't remember. But I know it was in October, 2 weeks to the start of the
We'll talk about your personal assistant later on. So yeah, Kwesi Appiah. And that was it? And
that was it. So he called me to his house. After accepting it from Asante Foku, Kwesi called me to their house. And the deal was done within a day. And then, I think it was in September, because we traveled in October. And then we traveled in October. That was it. Just like that.
There was no problem? I mean, you were cool with...
It's Kwesi Appiah calling me.
Right. Straight. You don't say no to Kwesi Appiah?
No.
You don't say no to Real Madrid?
For me, let's be frank. If you check all my Twitter and every post about Kwesi Appiah, even before I worked with him, I admired him so much. because for me, he's the best Ghanaian in the last 10 years to handle the Black Stars.
Okay.
He's apparently the first.
And you had this view even before you worked with him?
Yes. I had always hold this view. And you know, in Ghana, you know, there are people who are for you, people who are against you. I was a neutral, but for me, you can say I was for him because I liked his style, and for the mere fact that he's a Ghanaian, and because at that time I was aspiring to coach the Black Stars. So if there is a Ghanaian coaching the Black Stars, yes, he might have his own problems. It's not always rosy with coaches. But then, I think he was there because starting a qualifier, from what I have come to know, and ending a qualifier is a huge responsibility. Because players you begin with sometimes will change form. You understand? And you have to bring in new players and what have you. So it is huge. And knowing that at that time, what were the players he was coaching? Asamoah Gyan, John Mensah, John Pinsel, Suleiman Terry, Michael Essien. These were big players, and you never heard anything bad. So you knew that his man management style was good. You never hear of him having controversies with a journalist like Ignatius, who always do and what have you. Eric, I'll talk about this guy.
Yeah, he's also a Ghanaian.
Yes. He worked with House of Folk.
Yeah, worked with
one board was the House of Folk coach. He was the goalkeepers coach.
Yeah.
So for me, my admiration for Kwasi meant that I was only there to learn.
Fantastic.
Not about anything.
There are great stories. I mean, Eric's story, former Hearts of Oak goalkeepers coach, yours, Kwesi Appiah. Let's delve into yours. So once you agreed on the plane straight?
Yeah. I think I agreed on a Monday. On a Sunday we left.
Accra, straight?
Yes.
And you knew at the time Sudan had problems.
Yes.
They couldn't play at home.
Because in May, I have a friend who, so to speak, is looks to be my son. He's a footballer. He was playing for Al-Maric in Al-Maric in Sudan. He came back and stayed with me for more than 6 months because there was problems there. So I knew there was a problem.
And that was okay for you? It was Kwesi Appiah factor?
I remember, yes, it was Kwesi's factor. I remember asking Kwesi that, senior man. I call him senior man. I'm like, senior man. They don't play at home. Because I remember when he went to sign the contract, I looked through the contract, there was nothing like qualifiers to the World Cup, qualifiers to the AFCON. There was nothing like that in the contract. So, but Kwesi begins to speak after signing the contract, he's like, I want to qualify this team to the World Cup. This was a Wednesday. And I'm like, Chairman, senior man, when we're going, because we did the deal in Jeddah, and we were staying in Taif at that time. It's 2 hours drive. So we're going, I was quiet, and we were going there. He was like, hey, boy, you look to be quiet. I'm like,
now we'll drink.
Yes. I'm like, why won't I be quiet? You just want to say that we have to qualify for the World Cup. Why we don't even play at home? He was, Ignatius, don't worry. God is in control.
So the city of Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, just for our viewers, you got there, everything was sorted, and then what happened after that?
So we moved to Taif. That's where we were camping. Because at that time, the Sudanese league was not on. And I think there was only Hilal that was playing the Champions League. So a lot of their players, like the best team, so for them there are two best teams, Hilal and Merrick. They normally play in the Champions League. So Merrick had been knocked out of the Champions League. It was Hilal. So the Merrick players, together with other U17, U20, U23 players, were in Taif for us to go and come.
Taif is also Saudi Arabia. It's another city, yeah.
Yes, 2 hours drive from Jeddah. So we were there to camp and coach these guys for them for us to use them until the Merrick boys. Had
Eric joined you or
no,
not
so
yet?
That time with Fatau. So with Fatau, we played, I think, 2 World Cup qualifier matches. That's in November. So we're there in Taif, and then they told us that we have to travel to Libya to honor our World Cup qualifiers. That's when I got that the thing was enormous tax. Because you are in Libya, you are in Saudi Arabia. You had a game in 3 days or 4 days time, and they said that travel to Libya to play. Libya itself is not stable like that, so It was huge. But what kick-started, I think for me, was the win. So our first game against Togo, when we went in October, we played some international friendlies in Saudi with Tanzania and Chad. But in the World Cup qualifier was against Togo and Congo. So for Togo, it was draw 1-1. And then it was a Congo that kickstart everything. That I think gave everybody the belief, the Sudanese people, they believe that we could do it.
Why?
Because Congo is one of the best I have seen. I think in the AFCON they were third. They played very, very and extremely well.
Everybody talks about Ghana being passionate. I've been to Sudan just once and I've tasted how crazy they're about football. You were in the cauldron. Tell us about the Sudanese fans and their passion for football.
So they are Sudanese people are extreme people. When I say they are extreme people, it's like when a Sudanese is happy, he is too much happy.
Over the top.
Yes.
When he's angry,
too much angry. That's why I say that they are extreme people. You see, in Libya, a lot of them are, so to speak, refugees. But anytime we play a game in Libya, the stadium is full.
Yeah, we saw that, yeah.
The people you see in the stadium, okay, let me put it well. The people outside the stadium are too much than the people in the stadium.
There are more people outside.
Outside than the people in the stadium. So if you watch the Ghana, when we played Ghana, you see that where the Ghana supporters were, from the start of the game, they were not open. The people were threatening to break into the stadium, so the police had to open.
So they get space
for them to come into the stadium. Otherwise, these people will go crazy. They love football. I was told that we are not even lucky to be training in Sudan, because when they train at Hilal Stadium, sometimes they get as many as 50,000 supporters watching.
Just training?
Yes, to watch the training session.
Wow.
I'm telling you, when we went to South Sudan to play some of our games, sometimes we had to give, like if we were training in the morning, we tell them it's in the evening. If we are training in the evening, we tell them it's in the morning.
Just to get space.
Otherwise you are not going to get, because there will be chaos, and we didn't want chaos. I remember one time we made a mistake, train on a field. The people that came there after the training session, it took us 2 hours to get into the bus for us to go.
Give us a sense of South Sudan. I know there are issues. What is it?
So
Accra, Kumasi?
Yes. So essentially, it is one people.
Right.
So it's like Accra and Kumasi.
But politically?
Divided. So the day I felt very, 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 like, I don't know to say bad or something, was when we played South Sudan in South Sudan.
Sudan
versus South Sudan. In South Sudan. In the World Cup qualifier. They were opening their new stadium. Infantino was there. Trust me, the stadium erupted when they sang the Sudanese anthem, because everybody in the stadium was singing the Sudanese anthem.
Interesting. And South Sudan?
It's a country on its own, but because they were essentially one people,
they were still singing.
They were singing because they knew how to sing it. So It's like Kumasi and Accra now. Then maybe Kumasi or Accra decide to separate itself from Ghana. So everybody knows the national anthem, and everybody was like. And when we finished the game, virtually it was like mixed feelings. Everybody was happy, everybody was sad at the same time, because it's like
politics,
and what have you, and very, very good people.
Tell us about the pressure
in our job.
Yes, especially the Sudan job.
So for me, coaching has always been a pressure job. Whether you like it or yes, it's a pressure job. You have to understand. But it makes the pressure comes even more this time, because you know that these people, it looks like football now is their only hope. And I was told that if we are going to play today, or let's say we play tomorrow, today there will not be war. Everybody puts his arm down. Tomorrow everybody goes to watch the game. Tomorrow next everybody goes to celebrate. And then the fourth day, the war will continue.
Wow.
So at least if we play a game, we give them 3 days of peace. And that's where the pressure comes. That you always want to do well and win so that they can have something to celebrate. I learned when we qualified, up until now, people are still celebrating in Sudan.
But it's sad that you've not gone back yet to celebrate with the fans in Sudan.
Yes.
When is that going to happen?
Let's just pray. Maybe in March it will happen. Just maybe in March it will happen. Because I learned now situations are calmer than before.
And there's talk of this qualification getting Sudan closer to peace. And then maybe the World Cup qualifiers coming up, a lot of pressure there too, could be the catalyst for total peace in that country. And is that pressure or is it motivation?
It gives me a lot of pressure. That when you come to understand that a whole country's peace of existence rests on you, gives me a lot of pressure. I'm motivated to do my work. But then, if you have too much motivation to do the work, it turns out to be pressure. Look, when we played Niger and were battered 4-0.
Oh, the recent game in Lomé.
In Lomé.
Right. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Everybody was down, But me, it was normal for me because I said to myself that we still have our destiny in our hands. You need a draw in front of your fans to qualify. So why should that be a problem? But then, at the other side, I'm like, this was the first time I was told that the president of the nation and his cabinet were watching the game.
Oh, back home.
Yes.
Pressure.
And for the first time, we disappointed them.
Coach, I didn't buy it. I mean, since you've brought this...
Very, 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 very disheartening.
What happened?
So it's one of those days where everything is off color. Because check the stats. You will notice that it was 4 shots on target from Niger, and they scored. And normally does not happen in football games. That the team has 4 shots on target. Then every football game will be like basketball. If everybody is scoring on his shot on target. So for me, it was more or less, and at a point too, I could recognize that maybe we Sudan needed a reality check. Because up until that one, if you check our stats, in as many as I think 11 games, we had kept 9 clean sheets. We had only conceded, I think, 4 goals or 5 or something like that. So when you check the stats, defensively we were very, very solid. So I think going into that game, we were a little bit of arrogant, thinking that we could go and beat Niger, seal the qualification there. So coupled with all of these factors, I think brought us a reality check that gave us a different sense of how to approach the Angola game, because if we were not careful, then we would have lost on the last.
I'll let Prince come in and read. That looked like Manut's ball, but I don't think it is. The South Sudanese are so tall. Tell us about it. Because folks, coach is not short too. Coach will height because Coach is pretty reasonably tall.
Yeah.
And this is average height, right?
Yeah, this is my good friend, Long John. I call him Long John, but he's James.
James, right.
Every time we go to South Sudan, he tries to have this same picture with me.
Just to check if if you've grown a bit taller.
If I've grown a little bit taller.
They're friendly people.
But I tell you, there are people who are taller than James.
Sure.
In South Sudan.
They went to the Olympic Games, yes. And they did so well.
This guy,
yeah.
Long John, James. Yeah. Oh, James, my good friend.
Yeah, they are lovely people, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Sudanese are very good people, trust me. Very, very good people. If they like you, they like you.
They're like the Italians. They wear their passion.
Yes, they have it in their hearts. So somebody asked me, what is doing the trick? I said that it is the brain of Kwasi Appiah and the passion and the heart of these Sudanese boys. I'm telling you. It's the heart and the brain of Kwasi Appiah. So, and because Kwasi has worked there before, I think he knows them very well and how to get the best out of them. Trust me, Prince and Yao. Kwasi is too smart.
On that note, we'll go for a quick break. Prince Annan also has some shots to fire. It's Ignatius Osei Fosu, Ghana Premier League coach. We'll talk about the Ghana Premier League. He's been monitoring whilst he's been away. And Prince also has some interesting angles to bring to the fore. We'll be back in just a second.
headquarters. GPL headquarters.
All right. Welcome back. So these are the teams that have made it to the AFCON in Morocco. You know, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Senegal, Algeria, DR Congo, Egypt, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Uganda, Gabon, La Côte d'Ivoire, South Africa, Nigeria, Tunisia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mali, Comoros, Sudan, Benin, of course. They're back. Tanzania, Botswana, Mozambique. Okay, Botswana, Comoros, Zimbabwe, maybe Equatorial Guinea to an extent might be the outsiders. You call them minnows. But coach is here, Coach Ignatius Kwame Osei Fosu, the assistant coach of Sudan. Are you surprised by the teams that have qualified? You were talking about DR Congo being a very strong team.
Yeah.
They're there, they've made it. Are you surprised? And Ghana could have been there instead of Sudan, or maybe even instead of Angola.
Instead of Angola. Maybe instead of Angola, because in the group, I think Ghana was the biggest team. The next was Sudan.
Not Angola?
No, not at all. Sudan.
Okay, Sudan has won the AFCON
before,
yeah.
And people don't
it's
know
the consistency.
Sudan is even a founding member of the CAF.
Right.
So Sudan is, so to speak, a very big nation in terms of football. It's just that the civil wars in the country has made it very difficult for them to prosper. Because let me not to tell you the truth. You know that they have a player who Helaf signed for $1.5 million for 3 years. I think 3 or 2 years. Yes. The guy is earning $750,000 a year. Please.
That's neat money.
Yes. One of their guys just signed for a Libyan club.
A Sudanese?
Yes. One of the Abu Hakla. Yesterday I saw something. When I inquired, Hela was ready to give him $500,000 a year. He said it's too small for him.
Wow. I mean, the 1970 Sudan hosted and won. They beat Ghana, mind you.
The final.
But since then, Sudan has only been to 3 AFCONs.
Because a lot of the time they are with this civil war, something fighting over here and there. So that's why that is what makes this this qualification very severe.
Are you surprised that Ghana could not win one match? Ghana playing home and away, Sudan not playing. How did you prepare? How do you prepare when you don't even have a home venue?
It's poignant, but you know, as a Ghanaian, I feel it. Trust me, I feel it. I remember. Let me put this thing across. When we were playing the World Cup qualifier, I think we had played Togo, and Ghana was playing Madagascar. Yeah. That was when Inaki scored his first goal.
At the end, late.
Yes, late.
I think Chris Hutton was in charge then.
Chris was in charge. Myself and Kwasi were watching with Fatau. When that goal came in, the way we were jubilating at the hotel, people have no idea how we feel it when things go bad. We really feel it. And for Kwasi Appiah, it's huge because he's an ESCO member. It's huge for him sometimes.
Yeah, it's good.
To even take it that we have lost the game. If we lose, because for me, it's difficult to think about losing against what do you call it?
Niger.
Maybe Niger, everything was done, so sometimes you don't have motivation to play and what have you. Sometimes it's difficult when you don't have motivation. It has happened to me before, so I can understand what was going through these boys. But losing in Kumasi to Angola, I think that was the end of the qualifiers. Because
really? But there were still matches ahead.
I think because once you lose a home game,
psychologically,
yes, it becomes very difficult for you to recover. On any day, Ghana would have won that game against what do you call them? Niger in Morocco. But because we had lost a game in Ghana, we wanted to win at all costs. And you know, winning at all costs comes with a lot of
pressure.
Pressure.
As a coach, when you see players missing all these gilt-edged chances, I mean, Prince.
Well, you know, it's. First of all, let me say congratulations.
Thank you, my good friend.
To coach. The hard work is over in terms of the year.
Me and Prince goes back to a long days.
Yeah, man.
People don't know.
And that's what I was asking about.
At Liberty, Prince, you remember?
Yeah. Very well. Yeah, those days. Those days.
Far. Myself, days. Prince, and what's the guy's name? He's in GTV. Your Willie Graham.
Willie Graham. He's in the UK now.
Yeah.
Willie. Hi. He's also my guy.
Yes. Yes.
No, but coach, you have guys. But it's simply also because unless they don't know you, it is easy to appreciate the kind of work you do. Especially following your footsteps. You've mentioned Liberty. You also had a torrid time with 11 Wonders. I remember the terrain was not the best. But you braved all odds. You scored some valuable points and secured some wonderful performances for them. And it's followed you everywhere you go. I remember I was telling you that some of us were not too surprised that Ignatius finds himself in Sudan. And nowhere else but Sudan, but with his father figure, which is Kwasi Appiah. And I'm sure that you've picked up a lot of lessons.
I'm telling you.
But my worry at that time, and maybe you can clarify this for us, we keep telling ourselves, when I say we Ghanaians, we keep telling ourselves that, look, when it comes to Ghana football, we are at the top. So when we hear that teams from Ethiopia, from Sudan, from Comoros, etc., defeat us, it makes one tend to wonder, is it our quality of football that has gone a few notches lower? Or is the vice versa the truth? Which means that then other countries have rather lifted up their game. Fortunately, you have been with the Ghana system through the Ghana Premier League. If you compare the levels, would you say that we're lacking player quality, for example?
I think we have player quality, but it's the other teams that have, like I said, were up their game. Because look, when Cruyff did the Cruyff turn, it was then innovative. When the Robona was done, it was innovative. But now, when I used to work with 10-year-olds, I used to teach them the Cruyff turn. So no more innovation.
It's already there.
You are being taught to do it.
Yeah.
So now teams have taught, players have been taught to do all of these things. And I think this is one thing I always give it to Kate, that when he came on, he tried to restructure the coach education department so that we have a lot of coaches who now come into the system,
and a lot
build
of
the
variety.
basis. Yes, because we seem to have talent, but to train the talent becomes the biggest problem. To build facilities becomes the problem. And Prince and Yao, you will come to recognize that you have been in UK several times. A lot of facilities in UK is not owned by the FA.
Sure.
It's owned by the government. Is that not?
Corporate and state.
Yes, yes. So I'm yet to see Max TV venue where people can go and play football in the communities. I'm talking about Max because we
Right,
on Max.
Sure.
So to speak to other corporate institutions like the big telecoms and what have you, I'm yet to see.
So what? That's the difference between
Yes, that's the
them
and
us.
us.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's the big
Infrastructure and then training.
and training.
Right.
Because look, Yao, can you come to terms if there was war in Ghana that we could have kept or camp all our national teams
In another country.
in another countries, feeding them, paying allowance? Because once you camp them,
Traveling.
they never think of the war. That is why you have brought them, and so you have to give them
You
camp
take care-
allowances.
Take care of them.
Are you sure we could do that?
It's,
No,
it would be difficult. Even
it's
with
all of that.
home comfort,
Sure.
players are, I don't want to say disloyal. There are issues that maybe this is not the time to discuss, but it would be very difficult.
So that's the difference between. But with the talent, I think we will always have big talent over this very, very big talent, because I'm yet to see in any country that, for example, Jordan will not walk into their first 11 in Africa. It's unlikely.
Sure.
No country in Africa that Kudus will not walk into their first 11. So for talent, I think we have better than them. But the difference is between the investment in this talent. That's
where we are lacking.
Yeah, that's where the bridge.
But coach, I watched Angola versus Sudan in Luanda, and Sudan played very well, but lost that game.
Yeah.
That's where I started having fears about Ghana-Sudan.
Ghana's qualified.
So that's why I always say that it is the heart of these Sudanese people and the brain of Kwasi Appiah. That's why I said that Kwasi Appiah is a very, very smart guy. Look, I'm a coach that usually give a lot of preference to my players. So many a time, I will even ask players, guys, we played a game. Do you want your holiday on Monday or you want it on Tuesday? You understand? So it's like we come to Accra, we play Hasselhoff. We are traveling to Techman. In the bus, I ask them, we have to have 1 day holiday. Do you want it on Monday or you want it on Tuesday? I prefer that you have it on Tuesday, but do you want it on Monday? Because I state out my preference, they will take my preference. Okay, so this is Kwasi Appiah.
Okay.
After a game, okay, so let me put it very simple.
Sure.
I'm not a breakfast guy.
Okay.
I don't like taking breakfast. I'm not that type. I would like to take maybe lunch and maybe dinner. I don't take breakfast at all. I don't like it. But look, Kwasi being in Sudan recognized that the Sudanese people don't sleep early. So if you make breakfast compulsory, these people will come to the breakfast, they will not eat it, but then they will not rest again.
Okay.
Get the difference?
Okay, I see what you mean.
So every day, breakfast is free.
You know,
That's the guy.
before the match, some Ghanaians who obviously didn't have information about Sudan were very dismissive of Sudan. Oh, yeah, Shomo. Vox Pop.
Yeah.
3-0, 4. Yeah, Shomo 3, 4, 3, 4, 2. What did you tell them? What was the game plan? Because I didn't see the attacking game I saw Sudan play against Angola. In which you lost towards the end.
This is
Tactics.
conspiracy.
Yeah,
This is conspiracy.
I mean,
what
your
you're
boys.
doing is conspiracy.
So, if not the tactics, Krana, what was the?
So when you go to every away game, you recognize that these people will have the supporters behind them. So in the first 20 minutes, always they will come gun blazing.
Sure.
So normally, for me as a coach, I've always said that let us weather the storm in the first 20 minutes. Don't go on too much attack on the first 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, you can. So if you look at the game in Accra, our first major chance came after the 15th minute.
Yeah.
But you see how there was also a problem with this game. And that's where I always talk about that's where I talk about Kwasi Appiah is too much smart. Look, you know that in this game, people don't even know that we train once as a group.
Right,
before
because of flight connections.
Yes, before flight connections. Somebody even came, did a 30 minutes training and played this game.
The day of the match?
Yes. He just came 30 minutes and played this game.
Yeah,
So,
if you remember, was there a change in the date? Because I think they were supposed to
There
have
was a
arrived
change.
earlier, so they would have
Right.
played the day before, and then there was
It was, yeah.
you know, you see, with this game, there were a lot of things going on. Because this was, I think, a week to the game, we didn't even know where the venue was going to be. Some people were saying Togo, some people were, so you couldn't even make flight arrangements.
And so the stadium was given the green light, Accra.
So you see, when we're going to play this game, because he was of the view that we will not be able to play to that tempo that we are used to. If we do it, by the 50th minute, we'll be struggling.
Sure.
So instead of go on a high,
Contain.
because
Concern.
this is an away game. If you get a point, you are good to go. You can then go and beat any team at your home ground, because in this qualifier, we realized that if we win all our 3 home games, that is 9. We will just need 1 away draw to qualify.
So that was permutations even before.
Even before because when you win all your home games, it means that you have beaten all the other teams. That's 9.
Yeah.
And your goalkeeper, and some chances that up to now I don't know exactly what happened. Your goalkeeper is immense.
Now this is offside. This is offside.
With a chance to that.
But anyway, so
This he had no rights to.
Okay, so that's where this guy comes in, the goalkeeper's trainer,
Eric
Amponsa.
What is the Amponsa, right?
Yes, Eric Amponsa, Kwame.
I think he did a good job on your goalkeepers.
My guy, I must be frank. Okay, so for me, Nassam Yakubu is the best for me I have ever seen.
Okay.
As a goalkeeper's trainer.
Okay.
The next I have seen is Eric Amponsa. Maybe the next will be Fatau, because he's learning. He learns on the job very. Fatau is a very good goalkeeper's trainer and he's a very good learner. But Eric Amponsa, I think is an established and accomplished, because you know what? In Mediama, you coach Mediama.
Right. It wasn't very successful.
That was when they called Oforianchi to the Black Stars.
Right.
For a goalkeeper's coach to coach somebody, for him to be called to the senior national team,
That tells.
is successful. Okay, he comes to House of Folk. Richard Atta was called to the Black Stars. You remember?
Yep. Yeah.
He wins the league with House of Folk.
That's, yeah.
He wins the FA Cup with the House of Folk.
Coach Boydu. Boydu's
yes,
time. Yeah,
Boydu's
there
time. He is.
Yeah.
And when he came, I told him, I remember telling him, I said, Eric, you see this guy? He's the goalkeeper you are talking about is Ahmed Mustafa. He's now with Azam.
Oh, okay.
He's a very good goalkeeper, but his problem is area ability. He cannot go for area balls.
With all his height?
Yes, he couldn't. Trust me now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, his problem was.
Yes. When Eric came in, his problem was area balls.
Now
and he,
what?
the boy,
He's first in the air.
I'm telling you, my guy. You can see all the, so he gives us an opportunity to defend corner kicks in some way. Because you know that once you hang in the corner, he's coming for it. And he's setting us for a counter attack. Trust me. Yeah.
He was injured in your game against Angola.
No, yes, he got. So in the first half, he was very good, and he got injured. That's when we consider. In fact, all the clean sheets we have kept, some 9 or something, you need to see who has kept all these 9 clean sheets. And that's why when people were saying they were going to beat, Ghana was going to beat Sudan like 3, I was like, is it arrogance or is it
lack of information?
Or it is sheer like nationalism. So you know that sometimes we sit on radio, and you want to whip supporters. So it's like you know the truth, but you're like, oh, we are. That's him. You are going to beat. After the game in Ghana, everybody knew that he was the one who kept us in the game.
Yeah, he stopped at least 4 goals.
And you know that you are on the radio and you want to whip supporters. So you know that the game is going to be difficult. But then you are saying that, oh, we are going to win like 4 or 5. Yeah. Because if you like go through our stats, I don't know if your people have it. They can post it and let everybody see our matches. You will see 1-0. Even if you beat Sudan,
that's the second choice.
Yes, that's him.
Okay. The other one was the
Abu Shirin. This is Mohamed Mustafa.
Yeah.
When you see our stat, it's 1-0, 2-0, and any match we have won, it's either we beat you 1-0, 2-0, or 3-0. Yeah. We never concede. So if you have a team you are going to play, and in 10 games have kept 8 clean sheets. And the games they have lost is 2-1. Do you say that you are going to beat that team 3-0?
It's difficult.
Look, people look at the Ghana game and they say that Ghana could have beaten us like 4 or 5. It's true. But the goalkeeper, they say that goalkeeper wins you championships.
Sure. He made a difference.
Goalkeeper wins you championship.
Absolutely.
If you don't have a very good goalkeeper,
he made a difference.
You might not win. Look, in France 98, Brazil had the best attacking people. But when they met France, they were beating 3-0. It is the difference between the goalkeeping.
Yeah, but
well, like you said, I'm watching some of the stats here, and it's interesting. Clean sheets through and through. You beat Ghana 2-0. You beat who else? You beat South Sudan 3. You beat Mauritania 2. You know, it goes on and on. You beat Niger 1-0. You beat Guinea-Bissau 1-0. So it tells you that obviously that back you're talking about, ably led by that goalkeeper, clearly was the difference between going ahead and losing in those games.
That the back line. Okay, so until the Ghana game until the Ghana game in Benghazi, the back line, including the goalkeeper, were all from the same team. Merrick.
Club side.
Yes, because Bahit was Merrick.
The consistency was there.
What is his name? Mustafa Karashom, Merrick. Koko, Merrick. Ramadan Ajab, Merrick. And then the goalkeeper who is now in Azam, Merrick.
My Sudanese friend in London was telling me about garlic and onions, and I didn't know what to tell him. You know, they follow Sudanese all over the world, follow your matches religiously. What was this garlic and onion? Because honestly, I didn't have an answer for him.
I don't know. No, so after okay,
so I should tell him. Maybe sir, coach is only. Coach says he doesn't know.
No, is he asking were there garlic on the field or what, or on what is it used for?
Yes, no, per the match.
No, because not on the match day. I think normally this is what happens.
Is this in Benghazi or
yes,
Accra?
in Benghazi. Benghazi. So I also have what do you call it? An assistant. So after Kwasi giving me the training program, I also go to the assistant to give him the training program. And so normally, if you see myself and Kwasi's pictures, it's like sometimes they are doing warm-up, whilst me and Kwasi, we are just standing sharing jokes or whatever you mean. So they normally go to the pitch first to set up everything before we come. So before we came, they had, like as it were, picked some items supposed to be onions on the field.
Who had?
Our people.
Okay.
Because this was just right after, because we met Ghana.
Okay.
Ghana, when we went there, Ghana was still training.
Right.
So right after the Ghana's training, we actually passed them in the tandem. Because
of the time, right.
Yes, and they went there
to train.
And they picked these things. So presumably they said that it was Ghana that brought it, but I was not there.
Okay, I'll tell Umar.
So tell him that.
Right.
Umar.
and it must
his senior brother's name is Mohammed.
Okay, listen.
And Abu Bakr.
Yeah, coach. With your friends, family, relatives in Ghana, or Ghana. I mean, how did you psychologically prepare for this the night before? During the match, you come out, you see thousands of Ghanaians.
There was even word that you guys had planned that you were not going to score Ghana.
Yeah, this was in the media. This was fans were talking after the match.
That will not make us professionals.
Well. True.
But that's what I'm saying. That once a game is done, people will have their own perceptions and whatever. But this is the background to something that we didn't have a lot good travel. We didn't have a good travel. And so if you don't have a good travel, you don't open up to. So get a draw and go. So we got a draw. But in Benghazi, we knew that we were going to, because we had good travel and there was a chartered flight for the first time from the Sudanese government for us to go to. That's how it meant to them. And since then, we're flying chartered flight all of the time. Your brother from Nkranza is flying chartered flight now.
But coach,
but at least you got the job.
Yeah, and another thing, seeing your players, you are the World Cup with the Black Stars. Yeah. So you know how they think. That Kwesi Appiah has coached the Black Stars. So seeing Jordan and the rest before the game, let
me tell you something. I think in the Ghana game in Benghazi, we wanted to change the approach. Normally everybody knew us as a a 4-3-3 going forward, and then we defend 4-5-1-1. So we wanted to change approach. So we needed the striker who scored the second goal to play some role. You know what he said? He said, Kofi, you want me to play same as Kudus, eh? That's what he said.
Interesting.
Kudus.
Interesting.
They follow them.
So they know Ghana very well.
Yes, one of them told me that seeing Jordan at in Crystal Palace then and everywhere, Jordan and you, he was of the view that why do coaches keep on picking Jordan? Because he doesn't see too much of Jordan in games. Then I kept on telling him, you know, Jordan is my man. So I kept on telling him, when it comes to Jordan and Baba Rahman and those boys, I don't want to talk about them because they are my personal friends. So when you talk about them, it becomes like you are talking, but wait. When we meet him one-on-one,
then you can,
and you play him. After that, come to me, and then, you know, after the game, he comes to me and say, my guy, Jordan is so damn good. I'm like, what did you say? If I'm a coach, he's the first person I'm picking, even if I'm picking a goalkeeper. Trust me. So they knew these boys. They have watched them, and that's Jordan. And this is the guy who just signed for the Libyan club, Abu Hakla.
I remember after the match, some phone callers were saying, Ghana, Sudan, old men, but that's not the case. It's a very balanced team of.
You see, let me tell you the truth. When I went there, when Kosi took me there, I didn't know for whatever reason. The guys had problems with me. Anytime we went to training, and it's like, hey, Abu Hakla, do this. Like, Kofi, you relax. I'm like, why? Not knowing they felt I was 22 years old, 25 years old.
Satellites.
Yeah, they felt like.
Not even satellite.
Then it's like, what do you mean? How you this young boy? So one of them chanced on my passport. Like, hey, Kofi, did you increase your age? Or that's your age.
Right.
I said, that's my age.
Right.
I said, no, because if you are still playing, you could be 25, 26, 27 playing football. I said, luckily enough, I didn't play for a long time.
Right.
So that's my.
So they are older, they're matured, but they're still fit and very strong.
I'm telling you, and let me tell you, I had a player, Mustafa Karashon. Before he eats a meal, he puts it on the scale.
On the scale okay.
Because we were in camp, and there was nothing going on. We train, we sleep, we eat. So if you don't take care, that's how come these people are very, very fit and well.
They've kept that power and physique.
Truth be told, I mean, a team that you don't train at home, you don't play at home, your players are scattered, but somehow you qualify for the AFCON in the manner they've done.
Yeah.
It's quite commendable. I'm not even looking at coach here.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more, but it also tells you something. It tells you that collection of players, ably led by their Ghanaian coaches, were hungry for success.
Yeah.
Especially more so when they also believe that football will be that uniting factor in their quest for independence.
Reverend Pastor Kingsley says hi. George Darko from Aprede says hi. It's a long list. A lot of people are watching, but the phone lines are now being activated. And King, Coach, is it? Coach King. Hello, Coach King. Good evening. Hello.
Yes. Good evening to you all.
Thank you. Talk to Coach.
It's my first time calling on your program.
Great.
Actually, I've been watching your program. Most of the times I feel like calling. But then when I call, I'm unable to reach on you guys.
Sorry about that. Traffic.
My main reason for calling is Ignatius. He's my mentor. You know, I'm an African.
Thank you.
I'm a young guy who's aspiring to become a good coach. What I've learned about him is he is very patient. And I like his charisma. He has passion for the job. I followed him way back when he was with Liberty. And then when he went to Tsuman 11 Wonders as well. One thing I've learned about him is he has passion for the job. He respects his boys. And he doesn't joke with his work at all. So what I want to tell him is he should continue the good work that he's doing. And I know that from years' time to come, he will be coaching Ghana Black Stars.
Okay.
Because he's one of the good coaches in Ghana.
Right.
Thank you. And I pray that he succeed. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Coach King. Yeah, some shots there of you. Do you often hear that, Coach Ignatius, dear Charlie, he's crazy. But it's not in a negative way. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it a lot. You know, I hear.
Why do people think you're crazy?
Probably.
What about Kaka?
Maybe I think I have to change my style when I'm outside.
No, you're just you.
Because people who know me from inside knows a different Ignatius. I always say, if you know me too much, you know that I'm not that outgoing type. Sometimes I have to force to be who I am to people. I'm just reserved. I can be in the house. I tell people, if you meet somebody who can be on FIFA, like console for the whole day, notice that person does not like to go out. And I'm one of them.
Wow, X Games. Okay, Olivia is on the line. Hello, Olivia, good evening. Coaches.
Brian, good evening.
Good evening, Olivia.
I'm coach, no, me tasha pa, I net have match. Michelle, Brian, Atama, me catch him, some catch us support. Omubomodi, no me league mine. After second, so me talk about Ghana Brasta. Not catch and then I need to about Ghana Brasta, my dear humble. But I know there's something behind. It's when you follow me, not the possible Brasta, no more country, no more tea akuma. That no man told because me papa madam for better me. If you see a slam, Mumudia for Musha, no money be. After to time now, and so after that, no more meeting be the way a boy be media boy be and you to Katan and you're fine. Or to other, they were selecting prayer, go and play ball, go and win. And I want more to dinner them, and you're fine. The Musha will come here, them. Such on one answer, Michiana.
Yo, Mate, thank you very much, Olivia. Yeah, that's Thank you. Very emotional scenes, you know. Okay.
But at this time, our game was done, so whether you beat Ghana or you don't beat Ghana.
Yeah, your game had ended.
Yeah, you are not going.
You knew.
You see, in that game, we could have gone out to win.
But you decided.
Yeah, we need just 1 point to win.
So there's no need to overstress.
So you were conserved, yeah.
Yeah, what do you? That's why I'm saying that in Niger, in Togo, I think we were a little bit arrogant, and we felt that
overconfident.
Yes, we could come and beat them and go, and then.
Were you surprised that the Togolese, the Nigerians were so motivated?
Yes. I was too much surprised.
Right.
Because we played them and we saw they are a very good side, but to beat us no. But if we had come into the game with the idea that we just needed a point, so let's be conservative. I think. We have taken the point.
Now, talk as a Ghanaian. I mean, when I say that, I mean that Ghana is in a very bad situation. Yanko AFCON, Ubienim say Yanko AFCON. Surprised that Ghana couldn't win?
No, I'm surprised because when you look at our quality, I think we should at least win home games for me. But when you look at Angola, if you can go through there, you see, so this is me. Before we play games, I try to look at the stats of all other teams, how they concede goals. When they concede goals are all even important for me. Sure. You know, yeah. And when I looked at Angola,
can you believe this? What you're saying?
when I looked at Angola, because look, in this group, I felt that the weakest team would have been Niger, because Angola, look at them, they only lose 1-0 away. You can go through their stats, 1-0 away.
And AFCON, they played well and lost to Nigeria, I think.
So it is not easy beating.
Angola
has been solid.
And were you surprised at the way that they were so motivated after qualifying? They came out in the second half to try and win against Ghana.
I was not surprised because when you are playing a home game, you know that Coach, you have.
Yes, Nana online also. He wants to talk to you. Hello, Nana.
Yes, the boss.
Coach is here. So, good evening.
Good evening, sir. I was actually enjoying Coach's submission. Can you hear me?
Yes, he can. He's here.
Okay, sir. Coach Ignatius, greetings. I'm actually enjoying your interview.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm happy you're talking about the Black Stars. I was about to ask you, how did you take it after the Ghana game when Ochoado said that you were lucky? Like, yes. He said that he thought that the Sudanese team. I want to hear what was going through your head after Ochoado said it. And if you were the coach of the national team in a game against Sudan, if you were on the opposite side coaching Ghana, what would you have done differently as a Ghanaian coach? Because I saw that the Sudanese were actually playing more attacking players defensively. Some of your players were restricted against Ghana to attack. They weren't attacking. So if on the opposite side as the Ghanaian coach in our second half, what would you have done? Thank you.
Beautiful question. Bibisa, I won't answer, but
He's put him on the spot.
Beautiful question.
I'll answer.
Put him on the spot.
I think the first thing people have to genuinely come to recognize is that I don't take press conferences very seriously. So whatever he said in press conference didn't matter, because I have said a lot of things in press conference that sometimes I didn't even mean to say those things. I just needed to come. And look, during that press conference, when I went there, I said to the Ghanaian press that I think we were a little bit lucky. Although I knew our goalkeeper was good, but some of the saves, myself, I was surprised from where I was. So if Otuado said we were lucky, he's entitled to his opinion, and that is for me. When you ask me whether I would have done something different or something, the only answer I give to people when it comes to that, this is hindsight. You know what I mean by hindsight is that there are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes to pick up players and what have you that you have no idea of. So normally you don't watch a team play after they play and you say that if it was me, I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done. So for example, if you ask me, if it was me, maybe I wouldn't call Jordan. Maybe I won't call Jordan if it is me. You understand? So it has a lot of implications. Yes. So what sometimes, okay, look at the Thomas Partey situation. The coach says Partey should come. Last minute Partey says I'm not coming. He has even changed his tactical approach and what have you. Because sometimes you want to play Thomas Partey and some players and Partey opts out.
It's a big problem.
It's a big problem. So everything. Now you cannot call new players to fix it. So and I understand where you are coming from, but this is a hindsight question that if it was me, I cannot do. I think I have a long way to learn to get into the senior national team. And thanks be to God, I have Kwasi Appiah. I'm learning from, and truth be told you, my guy,
you're still learning.
He's giving me a lot of education as a coach. Let me tell you, I'll never forget. So after one training session, he walks to me, say, "Come here." I go, my guy, these are old players. These people are millionaires. You cannot treat them like...
You cannot talk to them like that.
Talk to them. I'm like, how did I talk to them? I just stood somewhere...
This is Kwasi Appiah.
Yes, this is Kwasi Appiah, yes. And I'm like, my guy, I just stood somewhere and called somebody. I say, yes, I was somewhere, I heard it. Wow. You cannot call them like that. Go to them. I said, I'm the coach. I picked them. Ignatius.
So you cannot talk to the players by heart?
You pick them.
Right.
But you cannot talk to them that way, my guy.
Interesting. So you went back?
Yeah, I went back. Sometimes after the training session, I have to go to some of them, their rooms. And like, my guy, you know, in training, I just call you. The person will behave and say, oh, coach. But no.
At least he has it. Clarity.
Yeah. He has it. Then I'll be like,
clarity.
Oh, I saw it. But later on, I'm sorry. Next time we will not do it. Sure. I'm saying, this guy, let's go and read his book. Religious must know you. I'll come out with another book on him. Awesome. That will be an autobiography.
What fantastic! Okay, Yusuf is on the line. We still have a couple of minutes from, but baby, Yusuf. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, brother. Good evening, sir.
Pacho.
Is it Yusuf Otman?
I think ever Yusuf Otman.
Okay.
Okay, coach. What do you know, Kasa?
I can't say. I blaster.
Yeti.
Blaster team ne kita no. If local players no. If local players and a new coach. Local players no bo qualifies no qualify we are. Na fi who kwan be fa so affix so. No new players no so kwan be fa so there affix so. So this is mo yen sa team ne betimi agina. Ba so mo yen say if you are foreign based players no kwan no be use a. Foreign based players no omanya ska wie. Inti untimi go use foreign based players say old new use for qualifies bia.
Okay.
Inti no this area blaster na be building there this local players no. They build old friends saying coach teams ne friends saying no academy teams no. Ne if you select players I be build the team na ko nani. I think say no mo be since foreign based players no ba no ma be say be game ni na almost say blaster jeans and so blaster is here no time na sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. The messages, I mean, all fans. A lot of people are. I'll try and read the messages, but telenovela fans, Unim, what we're going to do, Prince.
Yeah.
We'll stay on Star Times, and we'll continue with telenovela Shadow and the other programs. So coach is going to be here. We'll wrap up extra 30 minutes. We'll still pick your calls because the calls are coming in thick and fast, and there are a lot of messages also coming. So we'll listen to you. Coach has agreed to stay a little, while longer, and he would answer your messages as well, your questions as well. So Coach is here. We'll go off beg your pardon, Max TV, and we'll continue on Star Times Alipa channel 247. Coach Wadarima, how does it feel though?
GPL headquarters.
All right, welcome back. We're still on with Coach Ignatius Kwame Osei Fosu, extended version. I'm here with Prince Anand. The coach is back from Sudan, fresh. Literally, grabbed him from the airport, and we'll wrap up because there are a lot of calls coming through. I'm seeing the messages. So Coach is here. But Coach, before I go through the messages, Sudan is in trouble, civil strife, whatever. It's not stable, if I want to put it that way. They still have fantastic packages for the players, for the coaches. They seem to know what they want. They've planned ahead, and they're on the right track. If you were called, okay, sorry, let's speak to Mike. Apparently, Mike has been waiting. Mike has been waiting. Hi, Mike, yes, good evening. Coach is still. Yes, it's you.
I hope, Coach, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I like you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're a very good coach.
Thank you, boss.
I've been following you for some time.
Thank you, sir.
The way you are very straight and everything. People thought you talk rough or something. That you have to do.
Thank you, boss, man.
Anyway, Blaster for no, me pese. He started say, you be local players. Since mo and it's at the elbow train. And you were good players. You didn't start it. Now, the foreign for no crack. I hope it's going to be good for us. Let's build as a more foreign for no on the through. Almost say you young good local players now. When they are coming, don't because on maybe local player or genie position. It's very serious. We should try that. We will doubt. Let's say a bold coach beer. Or they can say let's try because Otono of your approach now for some time. On certain name local players, So I are now doubt to call them. Young man did the money on the boat. Captain said, these local players they can try and okay, let's try these people. Before we can crack a career, we should try. I'm to make two of yes, and say, wow, that we said last time to me did you. But I'm not sure why. Yo, I put the son of the I mean, say, Blaster here. Who Rasta? I know. Maybe not now. Why you come? Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you very much. I like the laughter at the end. Coach. Next week, today's week, stakeholders meeting and I'm here, Pram. If you're called as a Ghanaian, as a coach, you were at the World Cup in Qatar, as a citizen, will be outdoor, you've qualified Sudan, you have Fantunche. What would you offer? You see, the callers want to hear, they want to hear something hopeful. Is there hope?
For the Black Stars?
Yes.
Yes. The Black Stars is...
Is there hope with the local players? At least
and the coach?
Input?
I know you don't want to talk against your fellow coach, but this is contributing to the stakeholders.
So that's why for me the communique the FA puts out for me is very, very good. When they say that they will meet the coach discuss his technical report, and then because I never want to get into a job where it's like, is it always the problems of coaches? Isn't it beyond these factors? Or
Sure.
many a time I don't want to get, because I have had several instances where clubs in Ghana called me, and I was like, just have patience for this your coach. I think he will come good. One of them, after some time, took the team to the top 4.
Okay.
When the team called me, you know, Maso Konodo is my very good friend. So I called Maso, I said, this guy who is coaching this club is your boy. This is what his team has called me. But I think that the problem is not him. But in as much like in the last 5 games he has lost all, I think they will come good. Sure. So many a time it's about studying, because even if you don't study the technical report, if you get the next coach, he will still maybe go through the same problems that Otoado is going through now. So first the technical report, then from there you can make the decisions. But for me, I think the Black Stars is still viable to qualify.
With all our talents?
Yes, we have to just have faith. Every day I say that, when you ask me about Sudan, I say that it is the brain of Kwasi Appiah and the heart of these boys, but also the soul of the whole Sudanese people. Sure. You know, you have a lot of friends in Sudan, and you know how they are very close to their team. Whether the team is losing or what, I have never seen a team in my history draw a home game and the people are cheering them. That was against Togo. I'm like, I was down. I said, we could have won this game. And everybody were jumping over the team. I'm like, hey, if we want to go to the World Cup, we have to be winning our home games. But they are like...
But that's the fear. Ivory Coast were pushed across over the line by their fans. Yes. Sudan, you're talking about the fans. Yes. Isn't there a fear that the fans might say, Unim, you're branded Black Stars? That fear...
That's why I'm also saying that it is your product. It is the fans. The football is for the fans. If you desert the team now, you understand, then what ultimately you are saying is that somebody should come for it.
Oh, my bread.
No, they shouldn't. Because they should never get
Coach,
tired.
The kind of messages Prince and I, we have a place called Pray Boy, you know, and then we talk. You understand? We'll take you there after the show, and they will come up to us. They're not angry, but you
genuine worries.
They
are worried.
No, we have everybody, because see, even me, after the Niger game, I was like, what did you guys say?
Ghana beats Niger. Niger beats Ghana.
How?
Yeah.
How? Because my first reaction is of that of a fan. I don't know, Ghana should not. You understand? That's my first reaction. But you can understand I have a stake in it. So when I even say that was my first reaction, people might not take it. But then, when you analyze it, you know, okay, there's nothing at stake now. They were only playing for their pride.
They were hoping Angola would beat Sudan, and somehow they'll beat Ghana. But even to have that confidence, more about Ghana, more about the Black Stars, that tells you.
It is because of what the fans, because I watched after the game when Kudus was going to take penalty. I saw people shouting away. And I'm like, it cannot get such low for you. Because the thing is for you.
There have been worse times.
Cool. The thing is for you.
It's been
but unfortunately, that is where we've gotten to. How do we remedy that? Fans don't lose the confidence. How do you bring them back?
We just need one win and it will be fine.
You said you watched Ghana's last game?
Yeah.
No. The last game I couldn't watch it.
You couldn't watch it? Okay.
This one I couldn't watch it.
Talking about this game, you could count the number of people who went to watch the game.
Yes, I saw the empty seats and what have you. So I can
clearly,
understand.
like Yao is saying, we lost hope, we lost the focus. It is unheard of that. And you see, the irony is that when it was only 3 countries,
we were qualifying.
And then it came to 8 over a period of time. We were qualifying.
Times have changed.
Through to 16, Ghana was
So Prince, we should ask ourselves, why is it that it was 4, it moved to 8, it moved 12. To 12, 16, and 24 now? Why?
Because the quality is going up.
It's going up.
So you need to make room.
And
for more.
The quality is going up.
That is why I think you should also raise your game.
Yes, that's the point.
Raise your game
my father,
and move away.
There's something my father always say. When I say that, you papa, you want to know, I say football assistant will be and they say football assistant Togo Num Neje World Cup. And your Brazil man that's what you World Cup.
Yeah,
So football has changed such that it is not the minnows who are winning, it is still the big team. So we have to also make some. I admit that fact that we have to also. But I'm saying that in this interim, calling for the head of somebody or somebody would actually not change the.
It would rather derail.
So we should, like, as it were. So that's why they say if they are going on a retreat, I'm happy. So that at least.
Eric Kwame Osei, the Sudan's goalkeeper's coach there, celebrating. He has got some powder.
Yes, that is his birthday. That was his birthday.
Oh, with Chrissy Appiah and okay.
So that was his birthday. So after
this video wasn't about
No, this is 31st May.
And on the day and you is a popular song.
I think it was Kim Palute's song. And it was his birthday, so he was the one playing the song.
Okay.
And I think I was the one doing the video. So at the point they said that you to go and take the picture, and then I also came in and then.
So
this video has got nothing to do with your.
The time they posted the video, I think we were in the dressing room. This does not suggest dressing room.
Social media is very interesting. It's good that we've got you to clarify. One of my daughters in the media, Adepa Onua TV, she says hi and she wants your number. So after the show. I have so many daughters.
You are putting me in trouble.
She's a good girl.
No, I'm saying you are putting me in a lot of trouble with this interview. Because just as you see, I like that. I have had a lot of people calling me for interview. And you know me.
Yeah.
I keep on pushing. People, the guy virtually took me from the airport.
That's right.
And brought me here.
Yes. In fact, I said at the beginning I told you that he said no because
I just
Ghanaians,
came and put me here. So it is.
And you came with your manager as well.
Yes, I came with my personal assistant and my manager.
Yeah, very very strong.
Ajo Alela Kafalulu. Ajo Alela Kafalulu. That's the name. Ajwa Alela Kafalulu.
Ajwa Alela Kafalulu.
Ajwa Alela Kafalulu. Esquire. She's a lawyer.
Okay.
She's a lawyer.
Yeah, very beautiful.
She's my sister.
She's very beautiful.
I'm way older than her anyway.
Right.
Way older than her.
But she's kept you in check. I mean,
she's also
Coach. Your time has so. But look, the feedback here is crazy. I cannot read all the messages, but I don't know what to say. Thank you, Prince. Thank you.
Yep.
And we'll get Coach again to talk to
when he's more relaxed. When he's settled in from the airport.
Is he saying he's struggling to say it?
We'll get Coach again one time. Remember Sudan?
Yeah, you're struggling to say it.
When you go back home
to Sudan,
I'll come there. We'll do a diary there. But from here, we're going to pray, boy.
Because you say we'll have to pray for Kwesi Appiah.
Yes, and for Ghana and for yourself and the Black Stars, you know.
But he's changing.
But now that you've qualified, just before you go, what is the purpose? You're going into the Africa Cup. With what sense are you going into the Africa Cup? Compete with the others?
Yes. Kwesi,
make a name for yourself, advance to the final.
Let me tell you something about Kwesi.
Sure.
He never shies away from challenges. And anytime he tell you that football is just around, if somebody wants to play, don't let the person play, and you can beat anybody. Trust me.
On that note,
that's simple enough.
See, that's where people get it wrong. It's not very complicated. Me, before then, if you ask me, I was very complicated. Tactical approach, we'll do this, we'll play here, we'll play here, we'll play. I met him and I'm like, so all of these things, it's Ignatius, it's nonsense if the player does not get to the ball first. Every tactical approach is nonsense if the player does not get to the ball first. All this approach we are doing is for somebody to have the ball. So why don't you choose the simplest one that can make? And that's why I now recognize why some people, and you see, he's that type, if you're working with him, he makes everything about you. Says, Kofi, Eric, Kofi. Virtually, it's like
delegation.
Yes, like Ignatius. Hey, Ignatius. If you don't take care, it's like it's you who is doing the
management.
Job. But I'm telling you,
management.
So that puts it very simple. He's not a coach. He's a big manager. Kwesi Appiah is not a coach.
He wraps it up.
He's a big manager.
This is where we need to wrap up. There's a lot
of
talking points from Coach Ignatius Osei Fosu. We're really grateful to have him. And I reiterate, we had to literally kidnap him. We're very grateful to the personal assistant, Claudia. Is it
Claudia Osei Fosu?
Claudia Osei Fosu, the sister, and she's also out there with big thanks and to the production team, to Prince, and of course to Olenge as well. Next week, the FA is meeting stakeholders to talk about the way forward. Keep praying for the Black Stars. Don't desert them. If you desert them, they cannot. They need your spirit. Let's forgive and try and move on.
Our visitors are with them.
Jose?
Our visitors are with them.
Our visas?
Yes, to
the World Cup.
Yes, to the US.
GPL headquarters